I watched a 3-hour podcast about vitamin D and magnesium so you didn't have to, and here's everything you need to know. What if I told you the 2 most powerful things that you can do for a longer, healthier life are actually hiding in plain sight? In this video, we're going to talk about 2 seriously important nutrients that have a massive impact on how well we age. So let's get straight into the statistics, because this is genuinely shocking. 70%. That's how many people in the US are lacking in vitamin D. Now, if you think about that for a second, that's more than 2 out of every 3 people walking around.
70% of the US population has insufficient levels of vitamin D.
And it gets worse. On top of that, about half the population aren't getting enough magnesium either. So we're not talking about an obscure problem here. We're talking about 2 incredibly widespread deficiencies in nutrients that are absolutely essential for our long-term health. So let's dig into why this matters so much, starting with vitamin D. We've always called vitamin D the sunshine vitamin, something you just get from being outside, but the name doesn't really do it justice. We need to completely rethink what this stuff actually is. So here's the reality. We call it a vitamin, but once your body processes it, vitamin D actually acts like a powerful steroid hormone. So stop thinking of it as a passive little nutrient you get from your food and start thinking of it as a commanding officer in your body giving out orders. And this shows you just how big of a deal those orders are. This one hormone literally regulates over 5% of your entire genetic code. We're talking about thousands of your genes being turned on and off, controlling everything from your immune system to how your brain functions. When you don't have enough, the consequences are worrying. Just look at the effect on your brain. Studies show that being low on vitamin D is connected to an 80% higher chance of developing dementia. That's a huge, genuinely terrifying leap, and it's all down to one hormone.
What we now know is that being deficient or insufficient in vitamin D can increase dementia risk by 80%, and that's been shown in multiple studies. The converse is also true. So people that supplement with vitamin D3, and this is where a simple solution comes in, right? So you're not making it from your skin, but you can take a supplement. People that supplement with vitamin D3 have a 40% reduced risk of dementia.
But here's the good news. The fix is just as powerful. Fixing that deficiency through supplements has been shown to cut the risk of dementia by 40%. And even for people who already have Alzheimer's, getting their vitamin D levels up actually improved their thinking and lowered their physical signs of disease in their brains. It's incredible. So you're probably asking, why are so many of us deficient? Well, our modern lives are set up to be a problem. We make vitamin D from the sun's rays, but sunscreen blocks them. Melanin in darker skin acts like a natural sunblock, so it needs more time outside. And if you live anywhere north, like in the UK, the sun just isn't strong enough for several months of the year to do the job. And trust me, it's bad because I live there. Okay, so that's the first half of the story. So now let's move on to the second piece of the puzzle, which is magnesium. It's an essential mineral that essentially acts as the ultimate assistant. Magnesium is what scientists call a cofactor, and that means it's a helper molecule. It doesn't do the heavy lifting itself, but without it, the workers, in this case over 300 different enzymes in the body, simply cannot function. And this includes the enzymes you need just to make and use energy literally every single second of every single day. And when those enzymes are working properly because they have their assistant, the benefits are huge. People with the most magnesium have a 40% lower chance of dying from anything and an incredible 50% lower chance of dying from cancer compared to those with the lowest levels. So having enough of this mineral is a direct link to a longer life. It's as simple as that.
Magnesium, so I think magnesium is one of those sort of minerals that is, when you don't have enough of it, it's causing that insidious damage over time that accumulates and then rears its ugly head, in the 5th, 6th, 7th decade of life. And that ugly head happens to be cancer. So I do think that if you are able to avoid magnesium deficiency and insufficiency, then you are going to be able to basically make sure there's enough magnesium around for everything in your body to use it with what it needs it for.
So how can not having enough cause so much trouble years down the line? Well, it's explained by this really interesting idea called the Triage Theory, and this quote sums that up perfectly. The body prioritizes short-term survival at the expense of long-term health when resources are low. So how does this work? So say your magnesium intake is low. Your body has to make a choice. It knows that making energy is vital. You need it right now. So it sends all the available magnesium there, but that means other less urgent jobs get ignored for now, like activating the enzymes that repair your DNA. And over the decades, that unrepaired damage just builds up and massively increases your risk of cancer. And this isn't just a theory. The data is very clear and frankly quite worrying. Research shows that for every 100 milligram drop in magnesium you get each day, the risk of developing pancreatic cancer goes up by 24%. It's a direct, measurable result of not getting enough of this mineral. So we've seen how vitamin D is the powerful hormone and magnesium is the crucial helper. But here's the amazing part, and the point of this whole video, is how they work together. We need both, that's clear. The main thing to remember is that magnesium is the key that switches on the power of vitamin D. They aren't two separate things on a list, they're completely biologically connected. And here's why. All the enzymes that change the vitamin D you get from the sun or a pill into the powerful gene-regulating hormone we discussed, every single one of them needs magnesium as its helper to function. Now, the best thing about all this complex science is the fix is incredibly simple. These are some of the easiest and cheapest things you can do to directly impact how long you live. So for most people who are low, taking about 4,000 IUs of vitamin D a day is enough to get their levels back to where they should be. And for magnesium, it's as simple as eating more dark leafy greens or taking a good quality supplement. So this is what we need to remember. Vitamin D is not just a vitamin. It's a powerful hormone that controls your genes, and a rather huge 70% of us are deficient. Magnesium is the master assistant your body needs for energy and DNA repair, and nearly half of us are low. And most importantly, you absolutely need magnesium to help activate vitamin D. So this brings us to the final question, the one that you should probably be thinking about right now. Given how common these deficiencies are and how massive their impact is on everything from dementia to cancer, are you missing these two simple keys to a longer, healthier life? Now, if you're unsure about what supplement to take, or you're interested in which ones I take, leave a comment below and I'll tell you exactly what I take and where I get them from. And don't worry, I'm not sponsored, it's just what I've been using for years. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you'd like to see more content like this, please leave a comment and like the video.